I happen to believe, as do countless others, that humanity is facing one of its biggest challenges right now. It's a convergence of all kinds of change factors and drivers. And it's a time when we're going to make an enormous shift in the way that we perceive ourselves, our relationships with each other, our relationships with the world. So that makes it an incredibly exciting time to be around. Some call it the big shift. Others are calling it the great disruption or the great turning. But it's a time when we have to start making choices and doing things differently. So we've got huge increase in population, we've got issues around climate change, water, resources, food production, technology, and they're beginning to start to compound on one another. And either we break down or we break through. Now every other aspect of society is rethinking itself, whether it's looking at the whole capitalist system that sustains our global economy, whether it's education, healthcare, food production, governance, the structure of the economy. Can we grow without, how can we have an economy that is not based on growth? These are all debates going on outside of tourism. We're not having that debate in tourism. And so that's why I called it conscious travel, because it's basically, we've got to wake up. We've got to wake up, become aware, alert, knowledgeable about what's going on. We've got to start thinking differently, and we just can't carry on the way we are. So hence conscious travel. We've got a lot of people working very hard to help people in tourism think about sustainable issues. So we have sustainable tourism, we have responsible tourism initiatives, we've got geotourism, we've got ecotourism. The only problem I have with that is that I think it's looking at surface issues. It's really not getting to the heart of the matter. So it's kind of like putting Band-Aid on a wound when in fact the hemorrhaging is going on inside. Now, what do I mean by that? I think the real core problem that's affecting tourism right now is that we have built it on a model of industrialized model of production and consumption, which just doesn't work when you're selling experiences. So my issue really is very much with the mass industrialized model that's starting to do more harm than good. And frankly, it is not sustainable. That is the kind of truth-telling that we need to be facing. You cannot grow international tourism at 5% per year, given the way it uses resources, and call that sustainable. There are limits. So it's taken tourism about 40 years to get from 100 million to 800 million international trips a year, and now we're expecting that to double in 8 years. So my question is, are we having the debate about whether that's achievable, whether it's desirable, what the impact might be, what the quality of the visitor experience is going to be to double in that kind of time frame? So that's the kind of open debate that I'm hoping to have. But it will only happen when we start to be, as I say, on an individual level, wake up and start to ask the difficult questions we've been hoping to avoid. I think the evidence is coming in that in this new world that we're creating right now in history, if you want to have a successful business or an effective organization that's vibrant and vital and has the engagement of everybody, then it's really important that you have a higher purpose, a purpose that's bigger than either just making money or accruing members or running an organization. You have to have a cause. And everybody, and I think there isn't a person on the planet that wouldn't like to make things better if they could. So I feel right now that it is the opportunity for women to step forward and become effective agents of positive change. And I would imagine that a lot of women are going to be attracted to some of the ideas in conscious travel. A lot of women are really paving the way and in discussions about sustainability, for example, or responsible tourism or voluntourism. So I think that women can lead the conscious travel movement. I think you're ideally suited, or we are ideally suited and placed for this for a number of reasons. First of all, it's very much from the bottom up. It's grassroots, community-led and driven. It's engaging people who are on the front line of taking care of guests. It's people who are involved behind the scenes. And frankly, that's where women are in tourism. We make up the majority of employees in tourism, doing the work, taking care of the guest, but we're not often on the podiums of major organizations and big conferences. So I think women are the ones that could really affect change. That doesn't mean to say we don't have a huge amount of influence and power. We're now getting to the point where women have far more purchasing power and make more of the influential decisions, particularly in travel, than men. So we're already influential in that sense. It's just owning up to the responsibility that comes with that influence. And then the whole, if you like, the operating system of our society is changing. I mean, one of the themes of my work is to look beneath the surface trends at the ways in which our mindsets or our worldviews are changing. And one of the biggest changes right now is a recognition that the notion of the rugged individual, the dog-eat-dog world of fierce competition, the notion that I have to go out there and win, and okay, if that means you lose, too bad, but that's the way the world is, that's changing. Because thanks to all of that internet connectivity, thanks to the fact that we are in touch with each other all over the world, thanks to the fact that we can see that little beautiful Earth spinning in space, we realize we're all part of one family. So there is a fundamental shift from I to we. And I think that's where women also, that's our major strength. We are the nurturers, we are the hub in the family. We keep everyone connected and together. And so it's a natural function, it's a natural aspect of being a woman to work collaboratively, to work in teams. We're used to being dependent on others in some respects. And I think we can sort of lead that movement towards interdependence, which is the way things are going to be working in the future. So what I'd like to say to you is, can you as women really start to own your power and influence in the travel industry? Not worry about whether or not you're presidents and CEOs, because frankly, I don't think it's the presidents and CEOs of the big multinational organizations that are going to make the change. They're sitting on tops of these large pyramid organizations that are often out of touch with their customers. I do think, on the other hand, that people in the community can make a difference. And that's why I really would like you to have a good discussion at your event. I'm not telling you should do anything. I'm just saying that I believe we can make a difference. And I would love to have the opportunity to discuss this with you further.